All done.
Okay, great. Now I'm gonna go ahead and introduce everybody now for the benefit of the recording. And so hello and welcome everyone to the Step Central webinar, Creating a Faculty Fellows Community, Developing Collaboration Through Facilitation, presented by Dr. Elena Trates-Contis and Dr. Jose Vites from Eastern Michigan University. It's my pleasure to have you guys with us today.
Pleasure.
My name is Tanya Siemens, and I'm the manager of the STEP Central project, which works to cultivate a community of practice for STEP grantees and anyone working to improve undergraduate STEM education. So I encourage all of you to visit our website, look for other webinars, blogs, and discussion forums to take part in the conversation about STEM education. It's my great pleasure to introduce our presenters today. Dr. Elena Trates-Contis is currently the director of the CSIE program, that's their STEP grant program, which is funded by one of the largest external grants received by Eastern Michigan University, funded by the National Science Foundation to increase and maintain undergraduate majors in the science and mathematics field. Elena earned her PhD in analytical chemistry from the University of Michigan. At EMU, she has been Associate Vice President for Academic Affairs, where she was responsible for undergraduate studies and curriculum for the Division of Academic Affairs. Jose Vites is an Associate Professor of Chemistry at Eastern Michigan University. He received his PhD from Notre Dame University and is currently a co-PI on the CSIE NSF STEP grant. With that, I'm going to go ahead and pass the baton over to Elena and Jose to present. I'm going to get rid of my webcam so I won't be distracting all of you. And enjoy. Here you go, Jose and Elena.
Thank you. Hi. Thank you all. Thank you for joining us on today's webinar. We'd like to share with you what we've learned about setting up and creating a faculty fellows community, developing collaboration with them through various methods to help retain our STEM students at Eastern Michigan University. First, we have a poll question for you, and Tanya will set it up for you. We're about 2/3 of the way there, so if you could vote, we'll look at what kinds of universities you're coming from. Well, it looks like most everyone is from a 4-year university and looking at and focusing on teaching and learning, which is great. Good. Thank you all. If you have any questions while we're going through the process of the slides, if you could type them in, we'd be glad to try to answer the questions when we can. We have built in some breaks so that we can go into discussion mode. We'll look at, first of all, the goals and activities of our presentation today. And hopefully, we'd like through this presentation to have you understand a little bit about our CSIE program, learning about its design, its implementation, and results, and see if it is in fact transportable over to your institution. We also want to look at some possible implementation strategies that you might be able to use at your place and become aware of some of the issues, some of the pitfalls, some of the lessons that we've learned as we have gone through this process. So the activities that we'll look at on this webinar are the CSIE program overview. And again, if you have any general questions, we'll hope to be able to answer those a little later. The actual implementation process of a faculty fellows community, we've set up a guideline and have a resource manual actually that we can share with you offline if you're interested in actually putting up and looking at faculty fellows across the STEM disciplines. And we'll show you some of our successful implementation strategies and some of the explorations that we've actually gone through. So let's look first of all at why we went into this idea of setting up a retention strategy model for not only students but faculty and for our course development. We were very concerned, both our faculty and our administration were concerned about the progress that our students had, especially our STEM students towards graduation. We are a primarily commuting school, and a lot of our students are returning students. They're the non-traditional type of students. We've looked in the past at various kinds of intervention strategies to retain our STEM students, and we also have faculty who are very committed to student success and teaching. We're maintaining their own intellectual vitality. We have a strong undergraduate research program here at Eastern Michigan University, and we wanted to be able to partner with students in making connections. So the overall motivation of this particular project is in fact and was and still is to increase graduation rates, the success rates of our students entering both STEM and STEM-related fields. In the past, we've seen many studies, and there are some here located at the bottom of the screen, but in fact these studies indicated a national loss between anywhere from 40 to 60% of undergraduates from STEM majors to non-STEM disciplines. And basically they boil down to four main factors, and these are a lack or loss of interest in science. We don't have motivating teachers in the science areas, or students perceive this to be the case. Students also perceive that non-STEM majors hold more interest to them, and they seem to be overwhelmed by the pace and the workload of the STEM-type curriculum. We also know that STEM education has moved beyond the discipline-based model, that is lecture only for students just to absorb the information and somehow to spit it back out on exams, to more of an outcomes-based instruction model that enables students to actually construct their own understanding of concepts, to internalize these concepts and relationships, to develop their critical thinking skills, and to integrate concepts with everyday experiences. Because of this, we looked at the idea of outcomes-based instruction. These are programs that attract and sustain student interest, and they feature hands-on experiential work that is investigative, personally significant to both students and faculty, because we realize that if the faculty aren't motivated, they're not going to continue in the program. We wanted also, and we see that students are interested when we can connect what they learn in one field to another, and also out in the real world, practical application to students' lives. And as you see in these pictures throughout the slide presentation, you'll see students actually doing some of the experiments, some of the data collection, and some of the analysis that has been done. And these are students that are focused on the beginning 2 years of curricula in the STEM fields, the first 2 years. This is a video that we show from our students in CSIE.
Success, leadership, goal-oriented, life-changing, career-changing.
That's why I really enjoyed the program. It gave me a chance to meet people that succeeded in the career of science.
It's hands-on, so if you're interested in science field, you have that experience of what you might be doing in the future. We got to work with people that we haven't met before, and by doing that, we learned our strengths and weaknesses on how we communicate with other people that way. CSIE helps you have also learning beyond the classroom. Learning beyond the classroom is achieved through field work that can actually give you insights to see if you want to be in research field. This gives the students the opportunity to actually work with the community, learn how to use their technology, learn to do the research and the analysis behind the research.
In the quantitative analysis lab, we got to do soil experiments. So we actually had real soil samples from St. Mary's. Get to work with real life samples, really feel like you make a difference, and it really puts things into perspective.
Physics, chemistry, biology, the teachers are very helpful.
I really like to challenge the students in my lab, and they really respond well to that. And you know that if you tell them something one time, that the next time they're going to really try their best.
You have this relationship with the professor to learn what's the next step. A lot of times students actually graduate and they don't know what's the next step. Do I just go get a job? What are the job opportunities? How much should I get paid? And the professors work with you to help you achieve all of that.
My professor, Dr. Armitage, he encouraged me to go into research. It really helped me form an application. I had a couple of abstracts with from the conference. So it really showed the medical schools I was applying to that, you know, I had thought about the scientific process.
I'm a huge advocate for the CSIE program. It really makes a difference.
I guess the students, new incoming students who join a CSA program that is very interesting when compared to all the other programs.
They really strive for success, especially in what they like.
When they would be having a clear idea about what they want to be.
It's safe to say that I wouldn't become a doctor if it wasn't for CSIE.
It was the best thing I ever did at Eastern.
CSIE is basically saving people's lives. Down the road, much further down the road, but eventually.
So the CSA, okay. The CSA project is focused on getting faculty to use innovative and proven pedagogical methods. Also integrates academic service learning into the course and creates a customized academic support for the students as well as career explorations. The goals of the CSA program is to improve the students' preparation in the STEM fields, to provide a cohesive learning experience for students as well as for faculty who are participating in the courses that are being taught through the CSA program, and monitor the progress of the students and the courses, and having them have a better understanding and through community participation of what they are learning in the classroom. So the courses that have been developed mainly for the first 2 years of their studies, where there's a larger dropout rate from the STEM fields. So again, the CSIE program focuses on faculty development, course development, and student development. So with respect to course development, these are the different areas where the courses have been developed. They have been developed in computer science, mathematics, physics, biology, geology, and chemistry. And so you can see that most of them are introductory level courses.
Excuse me, this is Tanya. I'm sorry to interrupt, Jose, but I heard feedback that the sound is very soft, and so I just wanted to ask if you can sit closer to the microphone.
I'll try to do that and bring maybe the screen a little bit closer.
Thank you. Sorry for the interruption.
No, not a problem. Okay, CSIE student development. We ensure that the students are thinking about what is going to be, what they're going to do in the long term. Usually they will take a course which is a seminar course which integrates what they're learning in the classroom, and we offer them academic support. So students in general, they need that as they do not understand at the beginning what to expect from the university. Faculty fellows participate in faculty development in a faculty development institute. They are usually tenure track faculty, so they continue continue teaching the courses. They actually work with other faculty, preferably in a different field or different discipline, so as to create courses that are going to be interdisciplinary. They discuss their teaching methods and they explore new pedagogical approaches. So it's a team-oriented approach. So at this point, we are going to open the seminar to questions. So if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer.
So go ahead and type questions into the questions box if you have any questions. Or if, since we have a small group here, you could raise your hand and we could unmute you if you like. We could give that a try. So Anne?
Hello?
It's Anne Riley has a question. How do you motivate faculty to participate?
We first started by hand-picking faculty. We went to each of the STEM department heads and asked them who they thought which faculty might be interested in actually participating in the CSIE program, and were they in fact interested in working interdisciplinary with other STEM departments. And in each of the STEM department heads actually told us they had a couple of people at least who were interested. So we contacted them first and asked if they would be interested in being part of this project, especially at the undergraduate and at the first 2-year level. And so that's how we got our first group of faculty. It was difficult to bring them to the table because faculty in chemistry, for example, know chemistry. They're a little hesitant to know something or to teach something about biology. The same thing is true with physics, computer science, and so on. So we brought them together basically over lunch where they could just come together, introduce each other, and talk about what their ideas are about teaching and what their ideas are in terms of the introductory courses. And over a period of a semester or term, getting together every other week, we found that there were some interests in certain areas. For example, we'll show you an example of our general chemistry where the students actually go out into a lake and gather some samples and actually do PCR experiments at the incoming chemistry and biology level. And we found that this was good because there were 2 faculty who were interested in this type of project. And so that's how we got people going. And once that happened, then other faculty started joining in, and it became a process where by word of mouth and faculty talking to other faculty wanted to actually think about and pull together a particular type of problem-based or seminar, research seminar. And we have another question. Were there any difference in the levels of faculty participation from computer science and math as compared to the sciences? Well, I must say, because I'm from chemistry and so is Jose, the chemistry and biology jumped on board at the beginning. We also had very interested faculty in mathematics and a couple of faculty from computer science as well as physics. So they kind of became the core of all of this. We have a strong mathematics program on campus, especially for students who need some remedial or developmental work. And so we try to get them involved as well. But it depends on the faculty and their interests. Another question, how long does it take to train faculty members in the non-traditional style of teaching? And it depends on the faculty, of course, but we would get together in our faculty institute and we would talk about things, as I said, and actually go through a sequence of learning the pedagogy of academic service learning, which goes out and works with the community, and we came up with community partners who were interested in having some questions answered. And so the faculty were really leery about, well, where am I going to find a community partner and so on, and that's what the program helped with. And over a period of a term, for the most part, faculty actually were getting together on their own and coming up with ideas, switching, looking at each other's syllabi and seeing where they can connect together and make linkages. Other faculty, it took them a little longer because they, for the most part, they wound up having to do other things for the university, like teach other courses, and so that was an issue. But over a period of a term, we wanted, at least at the beginning, the faculty to prepare or put together the idea of a CSIE seminar, and then it takes us here at the university about a year to put something into the schedule. So within a year then, it would be scheduled, and the faculty would actually get a stipend for both coming to the institute and then implementing and teaching the course. And we have another question. Yes, case-based studying is very important, and we find that the more types of seminars that we have on available for students, the more we actually gain information. And yes, case-based studying is very good in this respect. Do you want to answer that?
Let me read it first. Can you recommend
I can.
good resources for designing hands-on experiences or research experiences for freshmen and sophomore?
Okay. We have lots of resources, and I think we'll leave that till later if that's okay. We'll talk a little bit more about the structure and the logistics, and then we can also send you offline some of the resources that we have in fact put together and developed, and there's lots and lots of information out there. So I think we'll move on if that's okay at this point, and then we'll come back to answering questions.
Okay, there's a two more. So we'll have 3 questions on hold for the end of the discussion at the end. Okay. Great questions, everyone.
So we're going to go into part 2 of the presentation, which is the implementation of faculty fellows community. So we start with a poll question.
Another poll question. So we'll take a moment and hopefully everybody will answer.
Hold on a second. I'm just grabbing that poll question.
Okay.
Sorry about the delay.
That's okay. The second poll question is to see if you have any kind of interdisciplinary initiatives at your institution, and what kind of a faculty development center. Do you have one that's actively involved? Are there interdisciplinary initiatives in terms of STEM education, which often are not high up on the agenda of many universities because it's difficult?
For some reason, I'm not seeing the poll questions in my menu anymore.
Okay.
So I don't know, do you see it?
Yes, we do.
You might be able to launch the poll question then.
Okay.
Okay.
Just by selecting it. There you go.
There we go.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think we're going to close the poll from here.
I can see it now, but you can go ahead and close it if you want.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. And then share.
It looks like two-thirds of you are have an active interdisciplinary initiative at your institution. And about a third of you, a strong faculty development center. And my question then would be, is it based on STEM? And we can talk about that later. So,
yes, it's key that it is very good to have some interdisciplinary initiatives within the university and also faculty development, because those are you're going to rely on being able to push the program forward. Yes, and make it sustainable in the long run.
So that was actually separated into two separate questions, and so I launched the second poll question for you all to answer the second one.
oh, okay.
Which is, do you have an active, strong faculty development center? So,
And many of you said no. That's interesting. Yeah.
Yes.
That is key to maintaining the initiative of the faculty.
Right, and if you don't have it, then you'll have to push harder on your own. So yes, there is 80% of you said that no, you don't have an active or a strong initiative for these, and so that means that you need to do more of the work, and usually that means you have to contact work with the department heads. That would be the best way to go about being able to recruit the faculty to initiate the program. So let's go to the next slide. Oops. So is this a slide? Yeah. So again, this is the overall structure of the CSIE program. Again, faculty development, course development, and student development, and all of them come together in the CSIE program. So there's a faculty fellows manual. I think you were supposed to do this
Okay.
one.
All righty. I'll talk to you a little bit more about the faculty learning community. We put together a faculty fellows manual. It's kind of a guideline on the things that you see on this particular slide. And parts of it are shared on our website, emich.edu/CSIE. And we can also share the actual manual with you by sending it if you're interested in doing so. Basically, what we try to do with the faculty fellows is to create an atmosphere of collaboration and then to encourage certain kinds of activities to promote this collaboration. So when we first get together again over lunch, we have some selected readings that faculty can look at or read or add others if they like on collaboration in terms of interdisciplinarity and also on academic service learning, the pedagogy there. We then come together, and if faculty haven't already kind of naturally, organically put themselves together with someone else in the room, we try to think about and reflect upon some ideas. So there's a lot of brainstorming that goes on. It's kind of a free-for-all and open discussion. And then we come back and reflect on that. Are these things that might work? Are these topics doable for students at the freshman and sophomore levels? After that process, after about a month or so, because we found that our faculty much better like to work with over a period of time. At first we thought that the Faculty Fellow Institute could be something like other institutes where you would come in the middle of summer for a week and just, you know, Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday, morning through evening, kind of think about all these things. But we found that most of our faculty in STEM are doing research at that period of time. And so it was easier for everyone to get together during a regular term and actually then over about an hour and a half or a couple of hours every other week, kind of go over the readings, reflect upon what they've learned, check with us in terms of are they going in the right direction with their thoughts about putting two types of courses or linking a couple of STEM courses together. And then they would come up with team statements of what they wanted to do. Some faculty came actually with a team concept map, which was to link courses like chemistry and biology and actually link the various topics from one course to another. And they set up outcomes, and eventually then they collaborated on a syllabus. And as you see in these pictures, these are some of our students actually out in the field collecting samples up at the top on stoneflies in the middle of winter, and others actually looking at what they learned in collecting cyanobacteria. The whole idea is to help our faculty be developed to the point of having some common ground in terms of pedagogy. And we found that these faculty fellows were really committed, they're very creative and dedicated, and they generally have a very good rapport with their students. We still have, and this has brought on a discussion to integrate our STEM curricula. So this continues almost on a term-by-term basis. And we think about more these outcomes or concept mapping in terms of integrating course content. For example, one course that we'll talk about in a minute, connected computer science students with math students in terms of working with a community partner, Meals on Wheels, and the two faculty there actually integrated their course schedules together. Their course chapters, everything was fairly well linked together. It doesn't always happen, but these two faculty fellows thought that this was the best approach for them. So they develop a team approach, and we focus it on actually going out into the community and doing community-based research. It's not high-powered research, but it is some sort of research experience for students because we found that if they get connected quickly, they have a tendency to stay with the program, and after their sophomore year, they actually want to do undergraduate research, and they actually then graduate in a STEM field. The concept or the fear of working across disciplines, again, is much better. There was a lot of anxiety among faculty and actually talking about how they teach their field with trying to teach, help someone teach in another field. But that slowly, over a long period of time, actually gets our faculty, and the more faculty we have, the easier this is. So we can answer some more questions now if you like. And I forget where we were, but
yep.
Is that one? How can you apply the approach
Mm-hmm.
for the, yes, and we're at the same university in terms of having large classrooms. And so what we've learned to do is to actually embed a CSIE section into a large classroom. So for example, the biology is up over 300 students, the general biology, and we embed those students who are going to do a CSIE project into the overall class. So the faculty is teaching the large classroom. We have our CSIE students, which actually gets them to be kind of catalysts for the rest of the class. It was amazing. It was something we didn't expect. Because we don't have the ability financial-wise at the university to have individual small courses like 25 and 30 students, we had to do this as well, and it seems to be working. We may pull these students out, and Jose teaches some of these students in a particular CSIE class where they do water analysis, right. and they're at the same time as the regular lab, but they're doing special projects as well.
Right. These courses that I've been teaching, yeah, there are larger sections in which I have a cohort of about 24 students, which is the size of our laboratory. So I have them in the laboratory, so I get to know them personally. And yet, when we're in the classroom, we have a much larger classroom. And again, this course is associated with a seminar in which I am also part of that seminar course. So I get to see them yet again. So you can develop a personal relationship with them, yes, as long as they are about the size of the labs. And most labs, even if you have very large lectures, the labs are going to be limited to maybe 30 students maximum, and you can do that. What is the biggest challenge to forming the faculty communities?
And I would say what we said before, that is the fear of faculty from different departments coming to the same table. Once you can get over that barrier, it becomes a lot easier. They feel freer to talk to one another and actually don't feel intimidated by the other person. And once that happens, then we have a good rapport.
The next question is, can you recommend good resources for the same hands-on experiences or research experiences for freshmen and sophomores? I can talk about research experiences. What I would do is just create a smaller project within the larger research. So you create something that is not going to be published in the Journal of Science, but it's going to actually give them a taste of what research is about. and how you actually go and collect data, and how do you analyze data. And so it kind of gives them a little bit of a taste of research, and that kind of whets their appetite later on to join that research group.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to take another question and save more for later?
I think we're done.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, no, one more. How are students selected to be a part of the CSIE section? Any prior skills required?
Well, our first students that we selected, again, were selected as incoming freshmen. They were first time in any college. And what we have at Eastern is a program called Fast Track, where students are accepted into the university, and then during the summer come in for a registration, a little bit of understanding what kind of courses they should be taking. We have advisors from various fields. So we went there, and we simply told the students if they're interested in chemistry or science or biology, what have you, and also have good math skills, that they were eligible for this program. And so we told them about the program, and they self-selected into the program. So the first term that we had students, we actually had more than 50% of the students were women students who like and can become engaged because we have a little bit more rapport, and we talk to the students, we can mentor the students a little better. And so we found that that was the best technique, and we still do this every year. But we're also a very large transfer university. A lot of students go to community colleges, and then they transfer to the university. So whenever we can find them, and we do get their majors, and if they're interested in science, we actually have sent out postcards, we've sent out individual letters from our faculty, we've done calling, we've used all kinds of techniques to try to get these students who are coming to Eastern to understand about the CSIE program, but again, it is a self-selected program. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I think we cover all the questions.
Okay.
So let's move on. So yes, I guess this slide was for you to actually have comments on what you think about you are going to implement here. What are the possible things that you think you could implement? And again, what are the questions that might bring? Okay, so let's move on then.
Okay.
Again, the structure of the CSIE involves a creation of a course, which is a 1-credit course. Usually it's going to be paid by the students, so this is kind of something that is kind of maybe then they will not be interested in taking an extra credit course, which is not going to count towards their degree, but yet the experience has been that we get a good number of students that are interested in the research part. So the research, when they hear that they are going to do research, they'll be willing to take that extra credit. That extra credit gives a faculty, actually both faculties. So usually you have 2 courses, usually in 2 different disciplines, and this is what course A and course B are in this diagram. And then the seminar will have those 2 teachers as well coming on to and discussing the research project within the seminar course. Mm-hmm. So we have tried to figure out what are the key features of the successful program. So again, there are 3 aspects: faculty development, course development, and student development. So for faculty development is the creation of joint courses and maybe even joint research that is going to go, and so that enhances faculty abilities. They learn about how things are taught in other disciplines. Actually, we faculty do not even talk to the people that are teaching our own disciplines and exchange teaching methods. And this one kind of makes you go on the spot, and you have to talk about what you're doing and how you can integrate some of the other things that the other faculty might be doing. So you exchange teaching experiences and explore also new pedagogical approaches. In terms of course development, this is a team-taught course, meaning that the seminar course And so you have to develop the strategy that you're going to use during the semester. It has a hands-on experience for the students, so that also has to be developed in advance. And it emphasizes, the course will emphasize the practical applications of what you're actually teaching in your course A and course B. So you have to have very well-defined learning outcomes for the seminar course, so the students get a sense of accomplishment once they have completed the seminar course. For student development, they actually go and interact with people outside university through the academic service learning. They have a hands-on experience and experiential experience, and so those are things that actually the students value a lot. So for STEM course development, we actually find faculty partners and common teams, so they have to find other faculty that might be interested in teaching with them. We also have a community partner, so usually something in the surrounding community that gives relevance to the work that they're doing, and there's a review of the literature. And the course development, of course, that comes after that. Again, the course focuses on academic service learning, a customized academic support. We're getting the students to keep on track. Exploration and mentorship of students. You get to know the students again personally, so they can come to your office, or you cross them on campus or in the building, and you develop a personal relationship with them. So these are examples of two. These are examples of two of the interdisciplinary courses that we have developed, among the others. This is Meals on Wheels, Routing and Costs, and this was an interdisciplinary course between computer science and mathematics. The features of the seminar course, it was taught by both faculty. They have weekly meetings, so they have a scheduled meeting time, and usually adjacent to the courses that they're taking, and they use actually math and programming at the same time. Okay, so there's academic service learning component. In this case was the Huron River Watershed Council, and you answered that one. So they can see that their efforts actually yield positive contributions to the society. You want to stop sharing? No. Okay.
Okay, we seem to have lost our connection.
Completely. Do we have even internet?
Hello, everyone. This is Tanya joining in, and it sounds like Jose and Elena may have lost their connection. However, I'm still here, and I can still see the presentation.
Okay.
So let's hope that they are able to join back in momentarily. In the meantime, can you raise your hand if you are still able to see the screen and hear me? Okay, they can't see us, but we can see them. Okay, so I have a handful of you guys raising your hand.
Can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you.
And we seem to be back on live,
Okay.
so sorry about
see us
that.
as well?
Oh, great, you're back. I'm glad that you're back. Let's continue and hope that doesn't happen again.
Okay, so we're talking about the cyanobacteria. Oh, no, we're talking about the math.
Okay.
You can go ahead and put your hands down, everyone. Thank you.
Yes, sorry about that. connection. Okay, so we were talking about, I'm not sure how much you heard this, these are the interdisciplinary course of science and math, and this is an example of one of the courses that was developed. There was this faculty from math and a faculty from computer science that came and worked together in developing this course. This was for the Helping Meals on Wheels, the program that brings food to the people that need to have meals and they cannot go outside. So this was a routing program, a routing problem. They actually kind of use math and computer science to be able to optimize the routing of the meals. This one is the Cyanobacteria in the Huron River Watershed, and this is biology and chemistry interdisciplinary seminar. In this seminar, they actually went to a local lake and extract samples, and they did chemical and biological analysis of those samples. So they used it, mainly they used it to characterize cyanobacteria in the Fort Lake.
This particular seminar has been so popular that it's now actually vetted and part of the general general education curriculum on campus, as all of our seminars are, but this actually has its own new number, which is great, and that's our purpose, is to try to get as many of these seminars going as possible. And here's some pictures of students in action on the boat in the middle picture on Ford Lake, where they're going out to collect their samples, and then there's some faculty involvement in the lower left-hand corner. The guy with the hat is the biology professor, and then the students come back to a shelter, and up at the top you'll see that they put together their samples and get them ready to bring back to the laboratory. So students love this, and in fact this is a nice day. They tend to love it when it's raining or the weather is bad. They love it, somehow they love it even better. So the question is, why are we doing this? And so here we are, a project success that we have in fact had over the past 7 years is that we have increased the number of our EMU STEM graduates and majors, especially those really from underrepresented groups. Again, because students are interested, and we take them and we mentor them and get them to the point where they want to actually do undergraduate research and to graduate in STEM fields. So we have impacted 603 students to date in our CSIE program over the various STEM fields. We have about 30% of all of our STEM faculty who are now using this type of pedagogy and interacting and collaborating with faculty from other disciplines. And for us, it's around 39 faculty. And we know that if we have a critical mass of about 30%, which we do, then in fact we hope that the program remains sustainable. We've put together, developed, and implemented 20 CSIE seminars, which means we've linked almost a lot of the first and second year STEM type courses.
So we have done this also within a discipline. We have linked programs within chemistry, courses within chemistry. So not necessarily interdisciplinary.
We have, in fact, taken these undergraduate students, freshman chemistry, biology, for example, physics students, and they have, in fact, loved the projects that they have done so far. And so on this particular slide, what you see are our beginning science students actually doing their projects and having it accepted by our prestigious undergraduate research symposium. So here you see a variety of students and faculty together presenting their posters, and some do it orally as well. So these are our CSIE students who then basically go on and finish in STEM, and we're real excited about that.
Right. So one of the things that help also is having results from positive results. So having statistics that show the impact that the program is having is critical to get support from the administration.
Yes. And here's another poll question, and I'm not sure, Tanya, if you can get it up or...
Yeah, she did.
Okay. So if you could take a moment, it's how likely do you feel that you'd be involved in STEM faculty development in the next year or so? Okay, let's close the poll. That's okay with you, Tanya? And what we see is about 60% of you are pretty likely to think about it. Hopefully you have talked to other faculty, and department heads are very instrumental in making making this happen as well.
Right. Yeah, so actually the likely and definitely likely add up to over 80%,
Right.
which is very good.
Yes.
So, good. Go and do it. I think that's the best way to go about this. Get your hands.
I've closed the poll now, so you can go ahead and advance your slide if you like.
Okay, thank you.
So I guess this is part, now we're going to take questions.
And again, if anybody wants to raise their hand, I can unmute your computer so you can ask your questions out loud instead of typing into the question box if you have any additional questions.
Well, thank you for coming to our webinar, and if we can help you, we're always free to give our 2 cents of advice to anyone who is wanting to start or has some information that we could share or that you can share with us.
So Angela has raised her hand, so I'm going to go ahead and try to unmute her. Let's see if this works. So if we get lots of echoing, then I'm going to mute you. Hey, Angela.
Hello.
Go ahead with your question.
My question is, was it required to write a proposal to get a grant for the funds for this project?
To fund the original project, yes, we wrote a National Science Foundation grant to the STEP program, which is Scientific Talent Expansion Program. And we were awarded the money to get the grant started and to set up the CSIE program about 7 years ago. But it has continued, and the university has, in fact, been supportive somewhat in some aspects of having the courses being taught and the faculty as part of their actual faculty load. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
I'm going to mute you again. Thank you for the question. We had some questions come into the question box too. Did you have any issues with having students take 1 extra credit hour, or students have limited number of hours? Our students have limited number of hours that they have covered financially.
Right. That was our greatest concern. We felt that we were afraid that students would not sign up for even a 1 credit hour course, since most of our students work, if not full-time, part-time, and how are they going to pay for it financially? But the students that came on board were so excited and were so grateful of having this hands-on experience right at the beginning that they shared with their parents that it was a great experience, and so we have not had that issue again, and so we're very grateful for that. We're also trying to get these courses not only because these courses are part of what we call learning beyond the classroom as part of our general education curriculum. Students can choose to take these courses as part of that, so it's not just an elective or just something that they won't use later. So we're very pleased with that.
There's one final question. Not all students are academically ready to begin a STEM courses. How do you aid in preparing them for it?
Again, this particular program is for students who have an interest and have the math skills. We also have CSIE courses at the fundamentals of chemistry level, And in this case, we take these students in chemistry, for example, who have not allegedly had chemistry before, and these students can participate in a CSIE seminar with local laboratories. And what they do is not necessarily do actual hands-on research, although some of them are doing it with their faculty professors, but they actually shadow a scientist at a particular place and then actually interview that scientist. So we give them some interview skills, and they love to do video podcasts to them. That's no problem. And so they actually learn a lot about science just because they're actually working with real scientists in the fields. And the biggest question that we get from those types of students are that they're terrified to be introduced and actually talk to a real scientist because they feel that they're not going to be able to talk to them at all. And they find that, yes, they're people too, and we have actually had some students convert into actual science undergraduate degrees from that. So we're very pleased that even at this level where students don't have background, that they can actually get something out of having some sort of interaction. And we've gone to labs that are actual real research labs in the area. One is the Great Lakes Environmental Research Lab, which is an arm of NOAA. And another one is a lab that's known for certifying various types of foods and things. It's called the National NSF International. And they're very good about working with our students. It's been a pleasure. And in fact, one of our students is now working for them. One of our CSIE students is working for them full time. We have another question. We have ACS exams. Can you complete all chapters while doing research?
Yes, I mean, the courses are actually the same as the regular courses, so they get exposed to the same material. Actually, the CSIE what it does is creates an additional course for them to get or place the knowledge that they're acquiring in the courses into a practical application. So there is we're not shortcutting them into the regular content of the courses themselves.
Okay, I think our last slide. Are there more questions?
I don't see any more yet.
Oh, there's our last slide. We have information on our website. And we again thank you all for participating in this webinar, and sorry for the technical glitches at our end. We're new at this.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Elena and Jose, for taking the time to share your expertise on Step Central doing this webinar. We are going to go ahead and post this online, so please do, if you know someone who'd like to see it, or if you want more information about faculty development, you can find that on the website. I'm going to stop recording right now so that just to make sure we capture the recording. So bye to the recorded audience.